Hey, how you doing? What you doing? I be in the break room. I be in the break room. Bet I'm in the break room. What you doing? Hey, what we doing? I be in the break room. I be in the break room.
All right, it's Big Bink's Break Room Podcast. Shawnee Scott hanging out with you here, and the whole team is on deck. But you know, October was Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we covered everything breast cancer that we could cover. Of course, I am the ultimate survivor, not only beating breast cancer, stroke, and heart disease. I have another ultimate survivor that we're going to talk to today, because if you didn't know, November is National Men's Health Awareness Month. So this month on the podcast, we're going to focus on some male health issues and try to get more men to the doctor so they can get checked out for their high blood pressure, to see if they have any type of cancer. You can't be scared of that. You know, you guys got to go to the doctor and find out, instead of, you know, finding out when you only got 2 days left to live. And I'm not being funny, I'm being serious. This is definitely something that you gotta take serious. So before we bring up our guest, I gotta ask Action here. Action, when's the last time you went to the doctor?
Actually, I try to do a yearly checkup, and I just had my birthday, so I'm making my appointment before the first of the year. So I will be definitely checking in with my doc. I make sure after I turn 50, I usually try to get that every 6 months or at least once a year.
How after you turn 50, how old are you?
51.
So, I got to ask you another question. When you go to the doctor and you get your checkup, do you ask the doctor questions, or do you just sit there and wait for the doctor to say, "Okay, Action, your cholesterol is a little high. You know, we need to work on that and getting it down," or are you actually having a conversation with him about your health, him or her?
Well, it's a him, and I've had my doctor for years, so I feel real comfortable with him. So I do ask questions because you know me. I mean, you said November is Men's Health Month. You're in my wheelhouse with that. So you know, I work out, I train all the time because I do the age rise. So I'm constantly twitching my diet, working out, making sure I'm healthy. So it's important to me to stay healthy. So I have conversations with my doctor.
Yeah, and you do eat healthy, because every time we come to your house, you always make us something that's really, really healthy. I'll be like, what is Action over there making? I don't know if I want that. And then I eat it, and I'm like, damn, this good. I'm going to have to go back to Action House and eat again. Yeah, so let's check on Bink. Let's see. So, Bink, I got to ask you the same question. When the last time you've been to the doctor?
They don't ever sound
good.
Yeah. When you start with it ain't good.
Let me just keep it so real.
Keep it funky.
When I had insurance, I went every year. When I got laid off and that insurance went bye-bye, I didn't go to the doctor as much. Luckily, I haven't had any problems, you know, just going to the doctor on a regular basis, trying to eat right. Y'all know I eat funny anyway. So,
oh yeah, you've always eaten like that though, because you know Bink don't eat cheese. Do you eat meat?
Yeah. I don't eat cheese. I don't eat beef. I don't drink milk. And some more stuff. So, however, I'm getting around. You know, it's time to go to the doctor and do the whole colon check and all of those stuff, which I've done before. But I just need to pick it back up.
So, does it scare y'all when y'all go to the doctor for that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I don't know if you want to use the word scary, but I'm always concerned because you never know.
Yeah, that's scary to me.
Yeah, and it's like I'm. No, I mean, I'm not fearing nothing, but I always have that in the back of my head, like hopefully nothing's gonna happen.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, it's November. Like I said, this is Male Health Awareness Month. So you guys definitely, I'm gonna make sure y'all go to the. Well, I'm gonna ask y'all every day if y'all went to the doctor until you
All
go
right.
to the doctor. And I'm starting these challenges, right?
All
So
right.
I'm doing the 50 squats challenge. 50 squats a day. Y'all want to join me?
Oh yeah, we can get out.
Yeah. I'm in.
Okay. So you got to videotape yourself doing your squat. I videotaped myself earlier. I just haven't posted it. Um, I got my email from Life Cycle, so I am going to participate in that with you in 2022. You and Sherry.
Yeah.
We need to get Bink signed up. So you can come on and ride these 585 miles with us.
I'll do the commentating.
Now, there's another one. Have y'all ever ran a 10K?
Actually,
10K.
probably ran about 12 of them, right?
No, I mean I've never done anything. I've ran in a lot of events, but I don't think I've ever participated in 10K.
I
Okay,
went
well,
hard on the 2K.
I'm challenging y'all to be in the Peace King 10K with me.
The
Now,
10K.
yeah, that's 6 miles, but you don't have to do all six of them at one time.
Okay.
You can break it up. You can do like 30 minutes a day. And that's what our guest is here about. He's the creator of the Peace King 10K, which is a 10K that is in honor of Chadwick Boseman. He decided to put this together
Nice.
because he's inspired by the different things that Chadwick Boseman did while he was alive with, Black Panther, and then all the
Mm-hmm.
work he did with the cancer patients. So without further ado, let's bring to Big Bink's break room, Dominic Austin.
Woo!
Oh yeah, you have to throw up the. Is it okay for?
Right over there.
Wakanda forever.
Right over there.
Is that the same as throwing up the X? Because we throw up the X for Dez Bryant. So do we say
used
that?
to.
My allegiance is H-Town, so I really cannot speak on the
Oh
Dez Bryant.
Lord.
Tell her again.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
Lord.
Got time for
I
that.
know.
It's in our year, but we'll be back.
Okay. Well, Wakanda forever. Wakanda
There we
forever.
go.
Wakanda
There we go.
forever. So, welcome to the break room. First, let me tell you about the break room. The break room, we are free to talk about anything, express however we want. This is the break room. So, any question that you are asked, you can express in a non-judgmental zone. So,
Cool.
Dominic, tell us your story. Tell us how you came to be the founder of Tackles for Cancer and starting the Peace King 10K.
Absolutely. So I started the charity when I was actually going through cancer treatment, which is one of the things that I really admired about Chadwick Boseman was, although he kept his story private, he actively was engaged in the community, volunteering his time at cancer hospitals, supporting equal rights for his co-stars. And so I really, after he passed away, like it really was on my heart to do something to honor him and his legacy. And, our mission is to improve the quality of life for cancer patients through transportation. And the way we developed that mission is my first cancer treatment. I ended up getting my car towed a couple of days before, and it was just a frustrating time for me, and I didn't want to be a pest to anyone else, and so I reached out to the doctor and asked him if it'd be okay if I were to walk to treatment, to which he responded, you'll most likely be able to do that, and he encouraged me and informed me that he encouraged most of his patients to try to live a normal life as much as possible, when they're going through cancer treatment. So for me, within that walk, you walk out of who you once were into who you're going to be, considering that, chemo breaks your body down to nothing and builds it back up. So as I got to the destination where I was going to actually receive the treatment after I walked there, I wasn't aware of how the setup was going to be. And, to my surprise, I walked into an infusion room, And that in itself was an experience, just, seeing a bunch of different folks from different demographics and quite frankly in different phases of their life. And there was a lady that I sat next to, and as we began to make small talk, she expressed concern around how she was going to get home from LA back to Long Beach. And so, that was something that, one, I just walked, and then just thinking about her situation and really not being in a position to help her. I wanted to create a nonprofit initiative that would enable and empower cancer patients while they're going through their journey, in comparison to some of the more research-based organizations that are out there. So, to make a long story short, that's how we came up with our mission. And the Chadwick Boseman piece was just from just being a fan of his, and being just shocked at his passing, and the loss just coming so unexpectedly, and then just kind of rewinding, as we talk about Movember being Male Health Awareness Month. One of the other things that I struggled with was some of the images that they were portraying, of African Americans who were being murdered in the street. Ahmaud Arbery, for a runner like myself, who that was kind of my go-to during the pandemic to get through it, was to get out there and stay active and run. But to see the image of that young man just running through the neighborhood and being shot down. And not to mention, that's about 20 or 30 minutes from where my dad is from. So that hit home for me. And it was a very depressing and frustrating time for me, and a lot of other African Americans. It wasn't just me. And then, we have the George Floyd situation, which just added another layer, to the whole pandemic, and being fed that image of the way that he passed away far too soon, in combination with all the other Philando Castiles and Tamir Rice, all the other folks that have died, at the hands of police brutality. So it began to affect my mentality. And then when Chadwick Boseman passed, I really took the Wakanda Forever personally, as a challenge to do more, to step my game up, and to promote not only my charity, but to just find ways to stand up for other philanthropic causes. Because as a community, there is a pandemic that is taking place within the pandemic, which I think some folks are either ignoring it, or they don't want to face the facts. But when you look at the disproportionate numbers to how the COVID-19 is affecting African American communities, and you layer that with African American men's health, African American women's health as it relates to breast cancer, we really have to stop and rethink our decisions that we make if we want to be around. Because what we're looking at is, if we don't start to take care of ourselves first, as an older generation, and be an example, then tomorrow's going to be harder for all the younger kids that are coming after us. And we have a responsibility, a social responsibility, to find a way to continue to give back, to inspire other folks in the community, so that Wakanda lives forever, and Chadwick Boseman's legacy continues to live on, because we definitely need more folks like that in our community. And so that's why we wanted to support him and what he was doing. And it's not like we just came up with this concept to do a 10K out of nowhere. We had been doing these for the past 5 years, but they were just superhero events. But as I mentioned, with the passing of an iconic figure who was also a cancer advocate and just a stand-up guy in general, I just felt that it's only right for us to repackage this, to recognize him, and to continue to challenge everyone to take the extra step to go further in your life, in your health, as far as your healthy lifestyle is concerned, your personal life, your mental health, so that we'll be around in the long term to support the young and upcomers, the young and up and coming generations who are desperately going to need our leadership and our vision in order to get to the next level.
So let me ask you a question though. How many people do you have participating in so far? Do you know?
So we've got about 40 people that have participated so far. The registration closes at the end of November, which is the 30th, or November, however you want to phrase it. But we just got 3 more because all 3 of you guys are going to register, right? So
yes,
I registered.
yes.
I registered Saturday, I think,
Okay.
or something like that. But
And,
I
and
didn't.
shot, oh,
I don't have a thing to keep the tracker because the little, those little watches. I guess that's what the app. Because
Right.
like when you register, you got to download this app to track everything. But the watch that keeps up with it.
Yeah, the app is called Striva.
Yeah.
And the reason why we wanted to partner up with Striva is we really wanted to hold people accountable. Like, it's one thing to say, yeah, well, I'm going to run the 10K and then virtually and then never do it. But we don't just want folks to sign up and register and get a free t-shirt. We want folks to actually get out there and move and engage their body and their mind, because studies have shown that exercise does improve your mood, your overall health and well-being. So we got to get to moving and make it a part of our everyday lifestyle, because although this event ends at the end of the month, what we are hoping that this is going to do is it's going to enable folks to develop some new habits, some new great habits that will carry on throughout the rest of your life. So that's where we are.
and this is not like for no specific city or town. I mean, this is a worldwide type thing. Anybody looking at this broadcast, they can join it from anywhere and be a part of the 10K, correct?
Absolutely. It's a global event, and we encourage folks from sea to sea, from coast to coast, to get involved, because a lot of the issues that are happening here are impacting the world. So I think it's one of those times where we really have to be a united nation with a committed front in order to tackle some of the challenges that we're currently being faced with in America and worldwide. So
Yeah, I already got that app. I use it for my cycling, so I'm gonna just log on to there.
And you don't have to run. You can bike, you can swim, you can walk, you can jog.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
Action will be done with that tonight. He'll do
Yeah.
10K tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done it probably at this point. I've probably done at least 30 10Ks. I mean, and some. So I'm speaking from myself personally. Some of the benefits that I've seen, and I'll take it a step further in terms of the name Peace King. I really took a step back to say, okay, what are some ways that you can make peace with maybe some folks in your past who things aren't all the way cool with, before you just bust out and you come up with this name Peace King. What areas of your life can you work on to improve communications and be peaceful? So over the weekend, over the week leading up to, I personally reached out to a number of friends, and family members who I may have had disagreements with, to really just put it to rest, so that my energy will be right, and so this event could be well received, and I wouldn't feel like I'm sitting up here like a hypocrite that doesn't stand behind everything that this event stands for. So
I'm like, you want me to make peace with enemies? You asking a lot. I'm gonna just work on the 10K first.
Yeah. But y'all would be proud of me because today when we went to Walmart, this lady hit my car.
Oh.
She was putting her groceries in, and they had a big old one of them truck like paws with the big wheels. And me and the girls are sitting there, and so I see them, and I'm waiting for them to get their stuff out the car. She took her car door and she hit my driver's side door so hard, and it took everything in me not to light her up with my stun gun. Because she didn't say she was sorry.
She didn't?
Oh, yeah.
No, she just kept on going and laughed.
Wow.
I said, oh, I'm glad I signed up for the Peace King because that helped me.
Yeah, you needed that.
It's not worth it. I mean, you might have a ding on your car, you might not, but you live to fight another day, and that's the key. So, and just being aware and in the moment, like that's winning. Like those are small victories. So count that as a win. You know, you get like 1/100th of a 10K for that. Right there.
1/100th. You know, Action. You should recruit him to be in the ride on your team because he's right there in LA. He can go to San Francisco and ride to LA.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't have to fly
what am I
across
signing up for?
No, I do the AIDS life cycle.
Okay.
It's a bike ride from San Francisco to Los Angeles.
Okay.
It promotes awareness and raises funds for people with AIDS and HIV in San Francisco and Los Angeles.
I mean, that's a great cause. And although the only thing I need to do is get a bike.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you got time because they postponed the ride because of COVID this past year, and they're postponing it for 2021, and the next ride is 2022.
Okay.
So you got a couple of years to train for it.
I'm down, you know, and honestly, like a lot of my friends are in biker mode, you know, and they really are adamant about getting out there and getting those miles in. Myself, I've just been running, but you know, this old body can only take so much. So.
Oh yeah, we got video of him running.
I think the bike will be a good change up to the routine.
Well, you know, it's probably like the disease that you suffer from, where it affects us, and we don't have a lot of representation.
Yeah.
Like African Americans still lead, and I've been riding in rides since 1990s, in the late 90s. I did my first AIDS ride, and in the late 90s, African American males were leading in new cases for AIDS and HIV. But when I went on my first AIDS ride, I could count the number of black people on the AIDS ride on one hand.
Yeah.
So again, we're leading the disease, but we had very little representation. So it would seem like it'd be the same thing with cancer and what's going on. We always lead, but we have very little representation trying to work for the cure. So let me ask you this too.
Yeah.
What was your telltale sign? Like, what made you say, I need to go to the doctor?
It was back pain, fatigue, and the real telltale sign was I had like a marble-sized tumor on my shoulder, which it just felt like because at the time I was traveling a lot with work, and I used to wear a backpack, like a laptop backpack, and I used to work out a lot. And so I really just thought it was like a kink you get in your shoulder, you know, that you just kind of, you know, you work it out and it goes away. But the doctor at the Cleveland Clinic, I mean, he literally just went like that and did a second take on that right shoulder. And then that's when he started to probe in terms of, you know, does cancer run in your family? And, you know, have you been exposed to any chemicals that you're aware of? And, you know, and I was like, no, like that's definitely not it. And this is going to go away. And, you know, I was very, very dismissive of his initial diagnosis. or analysis, I should say, because he didn't diagnose me. He didn't do a biopsy. And to dismiss it to the point to where he called me for another 2 or 3 weeks after I left to follow up to see if I'd gone and gotten a biopsy. But for me, I was like, I knew something was going on, but I never thought it was, something like cancer or a terminal illness. So fortunately, one thing, he was very persistent. And the second thing is that I listened. And, I did go in and get that follow up, check up, and then, came the cold hard facts, which are you have cancer and you're going to be going through some pretty extensive and serious treatment for the next 6
So describe that moment, though. I mean, I don't know how I would react. I walk in, the doctor's be like, "You got cancer." I'd be like, "Whoa."
So initially, before I even got the diagnosis, he was pretty sure, just kind of based on the physical evaluation. And so he actually texted me and was trying to like introduce me to the situation slowly. And I remember this like it was yesterday. And he said basically, Suzanne Summers wrote a book about cancer. And in her book, she talks about 2 of the most curable forms of cancer are breast cancer and lymphoma, which is what I think you have. And so, we were texting at this point. And so I said, Doc, we don't even have the biopsy back yet. I mean, you don't even know if this is cancer. And he said, well, we'll have the results back tomorrow and I'll call you. And I remember texting him and saying, do not call me. I said, I need you to send a text, because I remember like it was already enough just not knowing. And I said, look, I just need you to send a text because I might pass out.
Oh, wow.
That I'm sitting down or whatever. And so the next day, he sent the text with the biopsy that said mantle cell, large mantle cell lymphoma. And I mean, I went into shock. When I say I went into shock, like initially, I didn't want to share it with anybody. I felt like I was flawed, and I wanted to just go in a hole and just do it all on my own. But so initially, I just went back to my house and just tried to get through it. But it was very, very hard, like very hard. I couldn't do anything without thinking about it or without being emotionally impacted. So I reached out to my sisters. I have 2 sisters, and so I reached out to them, and because they had previously, I told them that the doctor said I might have cancer, but afterwards I was like, yeah, he said I might have it, but I got the results, I'm good. So they were like all celebratory, and after some time had passed, it's probably about a week after I had digested the information. It was honestly, it was too much for me to hold on to.
I bet.
So I told one of my sisters, and I was like, look, do not tell mom and dad. And that went in one ear and into my mom and dad's ear. And from there, it was like, it went viral basically, and everybody knew. And so I said, well, now that the story's out there, I feel like I need to just continue to move forward with sharing, because there was an element of relief from the pressure, and then just feeling the love from folks all over the place. Because I wasn't here in LA, and I'm from Houston, so I mean, I had entourages coming in. It seemed like every other day, staying for weeks at a time to show their support. And so I just, after I got through my own little pity party and started the organization and reached out to Beyonce to share with her, my story and to see, how I could possibly team up with them. I mean, it's just been a blessing, and I've just continued to work in the community and find different creative ways to give back. So
Okay, now fast forward that to the day you found out you were cured. It's gone.
now that was the ultimate day, and I honestly I will tell you, like, when I say I was hysterical like a kid who got a new bike on Christmas, with all the bells and whistles. I mean, I remember getting the news because I went and got a PET scan, and the doctor basically said, depending on how this PET scan goes, you're gonna either have to have radiation or you're done. And so I was like, man, I had taken as much as I felt like I could possibly take, and so it was just joy, unspeakable joy is the best way I can describe it. And I remember everywhere I went for the next probably 3-4 weeks, I mean, I was telling people, like, I'm a survivor, and I'm in remission, and I just beat cancer. I remember the NFLPA had they have the collegiate players football game every year, and it's here in LA. And so there were a number of players that I played with back in the day. And it was not too long after I'd gotten the news, and I just remember like seeing so many of my friends there and just being so energetic. Like I damn near tackled one of my teammates just from being excited to see him and like being alive and knowing that I was gonna survive and continue my journey. Like it really was. It was one of those days that I'll never forget. And like I said, it's my social responsibility to be the light, because when you get diagnosed, when you hear those words, you have cancer, it is a dark place to be in. And it doesn't matter if you have a family and $20 million in the bank, or if you're single and you got $1,000 in the bank. Because I mean, money can't buy you life, and I think we all have been around long enough to realize that. And so, I really have totally just changed the way that I see day-to-day life, and the way that I prioritize things are a lot different from most people.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like, I mean, I really enjoy, like, this is wealth to me, is enabling and empowering others to think differently about their health and their life and their well-being, and going out and reaching out to young cancer patients and cancer patients of all ages, who just need someone to say, you're going to be okay. You're going to make it. I made it. And it really, really goes a tremendously long way. When you're in that space, you're in hospitals, and you do get that feedback from folks who appreciate your time and appreciate, the money and whatever the different donations that we make in terms of, adopting families and different other ways that we outreach to the community. So that's what it's all about. And, I feel like now is the time with the COVID-19 pandemic. Now is the time to step up and step out in order to make sure that our kids have a better tomorrow. And Dr. King's legacy and his dream stays alive. And King T'Challa, his legacy stays alive, and that we continue to empower folks to live their best lives.
Nice.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yes.
I'm out here fighting. Man. We're out here fighting. We all are. And, I'm just grateful for, just being self-aware and having a good group of folks around me, and finding some folks who are willing to listen. And that in itself has been a blessing. And it's the least that I can do is share our story and try to bring some more awareness to a number of different causes and underserved communities.
And I'm sure it had to be a plus. You in a legal state going through that chemo.
The CBD oil, I did have a lot of friends who suggested it and recommended it. But my doctor was pretty straightforward and strict with just following the RCHOP protocol. So although I have heard a lot of great things about the CBD oil, this particular go around for me, I just chose to keep it straight from, kind of just from the doctor, if you will. So
That's okay. That's okay. The more the merrier.
that's what I hear.
Yeah. It's all
Like I
right.
said, I've done the research. I did all sorts of research when I got the diagnosis. Just because you want to. Everybody, I think, plays doctor when you get that kind of news. So, I don't knock anyone else for taking the holistic route. And I think some doctors do recommend it. Depending on what age bracket you're in and the different types of cancers you have. So. I think it's starting to be legalized in a number of different places. So I think that also tells the story, and it's something that I think that in the foreseeable future we're going to have to start considering as a treatment alternative for cancer and other autoimmune deficiencies.
Yeah, it's real. I mean, you can't deny the facts.
Yep.
It works.
Well, that was an amazing story. And anybody that wants to participate in the Peace King 10K, all you have to do is log on to peaceking.org and you can register there. Also, Dominic has a whole program that'll get you pumped and ready to go. All you have to do is go to the Media Room 360 YouTube page, and it's there, and you can watch it. Just take about 20 minutes out of your day, and it'll get you all pumped and ready for it. Now, if they want to keep up with you, Dominic, what's your social media handles, or do you want them just
Absolutely. At Tackles for Cancer on Instagram and Twitter, and our Facebook page is we have Peace King, facebook.com/Peace King, and we also have facebook.com/tackles4cancer.org. So we're out there. Please follow us, support what we're doing, and engage us and let us know how we can support one another, because that's the only way we're going to get through this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thanks for sharing, big bro. That was powerful, man. I'm just sitting back listening and learning at the same time, man.